The Nissan Nation podcast is a presentation of DRB and KGB Media.
Recorded live, coast to coast, it's the Nissan Nation podcast. From camping, racing, and all points in between. The NNP is your Nissan Nation podcast. Now start your engines and welcome in the hosts, David and Danny.
What is going on, Nissan Nation? From the land of Nissan here in Middle Tennessee, I am David Boyd, alongside the co-host, the big deal, the main guy, the big honcho, Mr. Daniel Groders. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, big game? How you been, buddy?
I don't know, man. I see we still got the flight. The flight pattern is full there, buddy.
Yeah, we're still rolling with the custom headset mic. I'd like to keep it feeling good, like we're just like if you're cruising along the beautiful skies, maybe cruising in a jetliner. I want everybody to just feel like they could just kick their seat back, first class, relax, and listen to a nice, fresh little podcast that we got coming to you tonight.
It's been a while, buddy, since the first of the month, man. Both of us have been busy, so I know we've been itching to get to this, and I think you've had some health problems that kind of put you down.
Let's not say health problems. That makes me feel like I'm 108.
Sorry,
some muscle in my back, so I'm a little bit.
Surf problems?
We were going to do the podcast on Sunday, but I texted Dave and said, Dave, I'm a little loopy on muscle relaxers and maybe a beverage. So we pushed it out till Tuesday this week. So
I want to give a big shout out to Miss Kara from the NORAC crew, man. We did a giveaway. Well, I won't say it's a giveaway. It was a raffle item for their end of the year deal they do, trying to gather some money up for projects where they do a lot of repairing of fences and stuff like that out there on the trails. But we had donated a guest hosting spot, and she was what is her Erickson? What's her last name there, Danaroo?
Yeah, Kara. I don't know. I know her by her Facebook name. It's Kara Bear Erickson. Yeah. So I don't know.
The bear.
Where the bear comes from. Maybe she's just nicknamed that. I don't know.
Yeah,
man. She's gonna co-host on the show. I met her out in Moab. She's cool.
Yeah. We got to wheel
cool
with
chick,
her, man.
Good peoples.
And I watched her bash her husband's Xterra. I think he had some little LED. I think on the crack there. Was that silver crack we did, or whatever it's called there?
I don't know what crack was. Yeah, there was crack. Kara was on the
crackheads
crack. For sure. She liked to get on the crack.
But yeah, man, I remember.
This is what happens when you don't get on the show tonight, Kara.
Yeah,
we get to talk about you before the next show, so you can defend yourself later.
Yeah, well, we'll ignore her then. We won't let her defend herself.
She'll be listening. She'll be listening to this one for sure.
Oh, definitely. but yeah, man, she was. I think her husband had done this little crack out in Moab that you cross, and he did it pretty perfect. And she was like, I want to turn. And so she just come into that crack slightly hot, man, and that suspension flexed a little bit, and down goes that LED.
She said she wanted to scare her husband, I think. Didn't she say that? She's like, I want to get the back end and as high off the ground as I can, or something like that, if I remember correctly.
But anyway, so a big shout out to her, man. We'll have her on the next couple weeks or so, and next couple episodes, and glad to do our part there. So what is going on, Dan? Anything bright and sunny in your world?
I got tons of different things going on this month. Not this month. I guess October's coming to a close, so we got Halloween parties. I got to dress up as something. Oh. I got to come up with a something to dress up in by Friday, because we got a Christmas or a Halloween party coming up.
Right. The kids excited for that, I'm sure.
So, no, this is an adults only.
No,
Halloween
but
party,
I gathered that. I'm just saying, I'm sure your kids are all excited with Halloween coming.
Oh yeah, they're excited for that. Yeah, kids. Yeah.
This is one holiday I never could get into, man. As a kid, it never did anything for me. I never wanted to dress up.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, my parents were like, okay, guys, you better go make your costumes because we're not buying you anything. So this was like craft time every year. Every part of the year, I'd be like going down to the Army Navy store or something and buy some kind of guns or something to strap on me so I could go get candy.
Well, what's been your kind of favorite thing that you dressed up as a kid, man? Do you remember?
You know what? I'm telling you, it was either a cowboy or an army man, like every single weekend, every single Halloween. That's basically it was like my go-tos. I didn't really bother with anything else.
But you knew kind of where you were going, your path in life, didn't you?
Oh yeah. So now I'm a dude that loves to go out in the wilderness, and I'm also in the military. So that it kind of worked out, huh?
Hey, speaking of things that may have worked out for you, I seen that you were going on a trip in a couple weeks. Where you off to?
Yeah, we're headed out to Death Valley. The weekend before Memorial Day, actually, or Veterans Day. Veterans Day was the last day of the trip. But yeah, I'm leading a trip, about roughly 15 trucks. We're going out to Death Valley for a 5-day trip.
Nice.
Pretty much you just do a big old loop through Death Valley. We see all kinds of really sweet stuff out there. If you've never been to Death Valley, you got to go. There's the Ubehebe Crater, which is an old volcano. That literally, like, you look at it and you're like, yep, that's a volcano, because it's like a giant hole in the ground or on this mountain that blew volcanic rock out. And you're just looking at it like there couldn't be anything else that happened here. And then you go to the place called the Racetrack, which is, you've probably seen it on like this Discovery Channel or whatever, but it's where those rocks move across the packed. It's called the playa, but
oh yeah, I've seen you post pictures.
Leave the grooves across the dirt, and it looks like the rocks have like moved across the ground, but there's like no way they could have moved by themselves, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you go stop there, and then the Eureka Dunes, which are the tallest dunes in North America from what I read, and they're like untouched, so you can't really drive on them. So you can walk up onto them and stuff. So that's fun. And then to finish the trip off, we go by a natural hot springs that they actually piped into some concrete tubs, so you can go and get some natural hot spring in the tubs. But
that'll be good for your back.
Yeah, oh yeah, no kidding. I'm bringing my daughter. It's a really great like little family trip. You know, a lot of people are bringing their friends and family. You know, we kind of barbecue all together, and a lot of the SoCal, Xterra, and Nissan guys and stuff go on the trip. So I'm really looking forward to this year.
And you took your daughter last year, didn't you?
Yeah. It was probably one of the best trips I've ever been on. Partly because it was just me and her kind of cruising around out there and just experiencing some adventure. You know, not sure what we were going to get into, and so yeah, we're pretty. She's been talking about it ever since, and she's
nice.
So excited to go this year too.
Well, I'd seen that with all the rain and stuff, you guys have, all of a sudden had El Nino's hitting y'all, I guess now.
Yeah, we're getting ready for El Nino. Actually, Death Valley got a portion of Death Valley got just swamped with like a freak 1,000-year storm. They got like 3 inches in, I don't know, a couple hours or something like that, and had some really crazy flash flooding. That's the thing out here. We don't really, it's like drought season, so anytime it rains it turns into flash floods and mudslides and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So yeah, that's what we're looking at out here. So we'll see that most of the passes and everything in and out are for our itinerary are looking good, but we're looking like we'll be all right. We don't have anything crazy going on.
So that video that you had posted up that I seen today, was that some kind of national park area?
Yeah, it's a little different area than in the trails Death Valley is so huge.
Right.
So we're not going to be going over in that area, but
well, it just looked like there was just massive amounts of mud that invaded their center there, and it looked nasty.
Yeah. There's some areas that got hit really hard by that water and storm that rolled through there. So,
well, good, man. So, anything on the racing front for you guys? I know that you had something going on, and just last minute, just something happened where y'all couldn't.
Yeah,
do it.
we weren't able to fund the race. That it was a Blue Water Desert Challenge. We were thinking that funding was going to come together for that last race, but it didn't.
Right.
So we had to pull out literally a week beforehand. Next year, we're kind of rehashing how we're going to do everything for next year. The next race isn't until March. So the truck's getting, overhauled a little bit, and we're kind of rehashing how we're going to be doing things for sponsorships and for how we're going to race for next year. So that's kind of how that is. Kind of on a hiatus, I guess you could say, for the holiday season.
Well, it sounds like your rookie season, man. That y'all have had taken your licks there, and it's time to kind of regather and get ready for next year.
Yeah. Speaking of races, Dave. Actually, this has nothing to do with races. When is your birthday, Dave?
My birthday is in November, buddy.
November what?
I don't know that I want to say.
As a good friend of yours, I'm in need of knowing when your birthday is.
My birthday is November 21st.
November 21st. That's funny, Dave, because it's the day. It's the day before Nissfest, right?
That's what. No, I think it's the day of Nissfest, which I believe is Saturday.
Is it the day of Nissfest?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dave, I didn't want to wait until the end of the show to tell you this, but I know you're on the computer right now, and I want to actually let you know that I put together a group. It's called Dave to Nissfest for NNP or Bust. And basically for your birthday, I got everybody in the Nissan community together, and they pooled their funds, and we are flying you out to California here for Nissfest.
No way.
Which Nissan Nation podcast is a sponsor for it now. We have a 12 by 25 foot booth.
Do I get to sign autographs?
What's that?
Do I get to sign autographs? What's going on here?
Yeah. We're gonna do a live podcast. Unbeknownst to you, here are the things that I have planned.
So what?
For the Dave and Danny 3 days of madness.
Please tell me. Please tell me what I need to bring out.
Okay, so we have a booth. I just paid for that today. I have a GTR that is being prepped for SEMA.
Right.
Is going to be parked in our booth for us.
Oh, sweet!
I just added you to the group so you can see everybody that went on and donated to help get you out here.
You guys, you're nutty.
So
I don't know what to say, man.
I as of today, I put in a request to race the Frontera on the track day. Me and you getting in the Frontera. I'm going to spray paint the Frontera in NNP gloriness.
Oh God!
The night before at like midnight, me and you are going to spray paint whatever we want to promote NNP. I'm gonna slap whatever I need to slap into the Frontera, and we're gonna race that on the track.
Oh my God, dude, this is awesome, man.
On top of that, I hired my friend who is the producer and creator of Winners, the Winners web series, Guess Again, and Sparked. He's going to come down and produce episode 1 of the Dave and Danny show, which has yet to be actually named, but that's what I'm calling it preliminary, just so we have something to talk about. So you're gonna have to get your full bro. This is what I was talking about earlier. You're gonna need to tap into your full bro, Dave.
Prochacho.
So we're gonna come out here and we're gonna make a full episode. We're gonna walk around. We're gonna interview guys at the Nissan Nation or from the Nissan Nation podcast at Nissfest. And
oh my God,
yeah. So we're gonna have a good time,
dude. This is trippy, man. I don't know what to say.
So I know it's a lot to handle. I figured since I spent the last 3 birthdays with you, I talked to Kelly and she said it's only fair that you spend your next birthday with me.
Oh, I can't believe she allowed this, man.
I made sure to ask her first.
Well, my last birthday, dude, I don't know what to say.
I know your last birthday you drove 17 hours to get a bumper on somebody else's truck, which was cool. But I feel like you need a little something more for yourself.
Oh my God!
And
man.
that's why you're going to be the co-driver. I mean, I'm gonna let you drive the Frontera.
Is Frontera ready for me? I mean, come on now.
I don't know if it's ready for anything. I kind of came up with the idea about the Frontera and did some Facebook messaging to work my magic tonight. So,
oh my God,
I don't know what's going to happen with the Frontera, but I'm getting I messaged a buddy of mine to put a race tune into the Frontera ECU, so we're I'm gonna put a full race tune in it, so she's gonna be burning on all cylinders. We're gonna have to run some race gas in it.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna have to do a lot of stuff to the Frontera to get it race ready, but she's gonna be race ready, man. Even if I have to burn up some mutters on the racetrack.
Put some KM2s on that damn thing.
That's what's on it, so we'll see.
Well, guys, y'all trip me out, man. This community is so awesome, and just when you think, you try to do good for others and stuff, and then, oh my God, I don't know what to say. I'm gonna have to gather myself on this one. But who do I owe some major thanks to besides Dan?
Ah, man, you know what? All the major players kicked in. I don't. You could talk to Kelly and make sure you send out your thank you cards appropriately. But they're all on that Facebook page that we put together. And
I'm looking at
had
this.
Everybody donate. So just think of it as everybody giving you a little birthday gift. So
I'm literally typing on this thing right now.
I'm telling you, Dave, I'm like literally I'm pulling out every single stop that I know, and I feel like this is gonna be like the wildest freaking crazy weekend we're ever gonna do. I think you're flying. I mean, the
I think you're flying,
bought, man.
Do what?
The plane ticket's bought. You're flying in like Friday night, I think.
Oh my god!
And I have a feeling me and you are gonna have to stay up all night, like working on the Frontera to get a race ready.
You can drive it.
I'm gonna do what I can, but I need some Dave input on that thing.
So Nissfest, huh?
Nissfest, man.
So
it's gonna be the Dave and Danny Fest.
David invades California. You know, Utah's as far as I've ever been west, man.
Well, I'm about to change that, man.
Dude, I gotta be. So I don't even know what to talk about now because this is like blown me up. What is where am I flying to, Dan? Since y'all made these arrangements,
you'll be flying to LAX. I'm gonna pick you up Friday night. We're gonna go to Nissfest Saturday, and then we're gonna spend all day Saturday doing the Nissfest thing, cruising around. I'm thinking maybe we'll get there early, and we'll set up a booth. We'll put my truck in that GTR in the booth so everybody can check us out and see how cool we are.
I guess we better get up.
Bring stickers and high fives with you.
I better get up with Luke and have some stuff printed up now.
Yeah, this is gonna be like Wild Wild West, like throw together everything we need.
Oh,
but yeah, man, dude, I think we're gonna have a blast. I'm telling you, it's gonna be so much fun.
Oh well, we would have so much fun together no matter what, man. So
yeah,
I'm excited. I've heard so much about like the guys that are doing this event, man, and just to be able to see like the SoCal style cars, man. I mean
I'm excited because they're getting a lot more sponsors. I was texting them tonight, and they're talking to full tire sponsors sponsoring the event. The track day looks like it's going to be super awesome. I mean, I haven't been in the car scene much, but I'm looking to really get into it more. And they really have some serious cars going to be showing up, and I think the track day is going to be really cool. I think the second half of the day is going to be track day all day. But I don't know exactly what to expect, and I think that's what I'm most excited about. I think it's just going to be me and you going full retard.
Never go full. Never. If I've learned one thing, never go full retard, man. Oh my god.
So yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna have to brainstorm on what all this is gonna entail.
Obviously
that's why I told
now,
you now, because I want to make sure that you're part of all the crazy planning that's going on. I mean, a lot of these things were kind of like pipe dreams, like the GTR. You can actually go on that Facebook page and check out the GTR that's gonna be there.
All right.
This thing is like, it's got like this wide body kit. They're putting the motor in it like right as we speak.
Is it this purple thing
from a full tune shop? Yeah. It's got like a 7 color change, ridiculous paint job. So this guy's getting his truck ready for one of the booths in SEMA. And I know the guy that has the shop that did the wide body kit on it. So, and he said that the guy would be totally into bringing it down and putting it in our booth, and that way people can come over and ogle on it and check out our booth and whatnot. So
I got to get my best White Snake outfit out so I can lay all over that car.
Yeah. We'll have White Snake playing in the background.
No, you gotta have what is it?
Oh no, Final Countdown. That's what's gonna be playing. We're just gonna have it looping.
Oh my god, man!
Europe. We're gonna have Europe looping at our booth with the Final Countdown just playing nonstop.
That's funny.
And that's gonna be our anthem of Nissfest. It's going to be playing in the Frontera as we screech around the corners in a four-wheel drift.
I don't know that Final Countdown is the song you want playing for your trip out there. Sorry everybody that sent me out there. Hey, this is his last trip. Make it count. Oh my god, you guys trip me out, man. I see Chima and people, JR and Brian.
Chima, Car Jeep, JR, Brian Smith. I can't even name everybody that got on there and donated, but
you got
a lot of good homies all over the U.S. that are into making sure that you get taken care of. You've done so many cool things for us in the community and stuff. obviously it's time to, birthday season's upon us and it's time to give back. And I know
oh my God,
you'd probably like a bumper better, but I think experiences are far better than bumpers.
Oh,
or something like that.
I've been told Kelly, it's like when we're driving to Moab, we got to stop and talk to Chris Hefty, man. I got to get my bumper fixed.
Yeah.
But guys, everybody that did this, I'll type something up, something poor grammar like that I do, and
yeah, I misspell a bunch of words.
Yeah,
true Dave fashion.
A lot of periods, in a row. But thank you for whoever's doing this, man. I blown away, and it's you do good things and good things happen to you, man. And I'm a firm believer in that, and that's why I try to find somebody within the community, and we try to do these type of things, and here it repays itself, I guess. And major props to you guys, and Dan, you mother. That's all right. There'll be moonshine in a rape cabin in your future, buddy.
Good. Bring it on down.
Yeah. So let's do a podcast here, Dan. How about that?
Yeah.
Man?
Sorry, Dave.
Show 21, man.
That's what we got for the future. Show 21.
Did you figure we would get to show 21? Jeez, man. I can't believe we're at show 21, and let's
yeah, no kidding.
Let's insert podcast news music now. SEMA's coming up, and I don't know if are you going to SEMA this year?
Possibly. Well, I'm still working on some details to see if it's like literally the week before I leave on that big that big trip. So I'd like to get out there and see those Titans and kind of poke around and say hi to some of the guys, but I don't know. I don't know if it's in the cards yet.
Well, it looks like that they're going to have 3 Titans out there, man, which we expected to see at least a Titan out there, but they're doing 2 that I guess are Nissan related, with like Nissan aftermarket parts, probably a lot of Nismo stuff like that they're going to have out there. And then they've got their partnership with the guys of SEMA, where I think PRG and a few guys have put stuff together. I'm sure Bushwhacker, somebody like that. They're going to have a
I'm interested. I'm interested to see who kind of kicked in with some development of parts and stuff, and who SEMA brought on board for that.
Who does like the push bars and all that?
I don't know.
Who cares, man? I know they.
I try not to pay attention to that weak sauce opera stuff.
I know they were part of the measurement crew that did stuff. Of course, there's going to be a new exhaust. I'm sure Magnaflow or somebody's going to be there with that.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to see this truck. I know it's supposed to be a Pro 4X edition. It's diesel, so you never know how that could go. You could go all broed out with a big stack sticking out of the back of this thing. Or,
hopefully they don't put like 26-inch rims on it and go like full bro retard.
Yeah, well, to do that, you gotta have that rear sitting a lot lower than the front, and but I mean, SEMA's the place if you're going to reveal new cars and new products, and with the Titan launching basically early December is from what I'm hearing. Yeah. That way to get ahead of the curve there, and that's perfect timing for them.
Yeah, I think it'll be a big to do for them. I think they'll be able to get some good press coverage off that. So it's a big dude. SEMA's huge, man. It's like every time I've been, it's like amazing how much money you see. It's just like blown just to get those cars in those shows, and the amount of work that goes into all the cars that are just. Even the stuff that's not even in booths and stuff, the stuff that's sitting outside.
Right. Is it more?
It's pretty mind blowing.
Since you're kind of a veteran of that thing, is it more that a lot of these companies just do some outlandish thing to get a picture in the news, or is it truly that, hey, here's the product? I mean, I know they're showcasing their products.
It's everything from mild to wild. I mean, everybody wants to have their name on something at SEMA. Whether some guys just want to be part of a build. Some guys want to have that build in their booth. Some trucks are like, hey, we'll put your sticker on if you do part of the build.
Right.
For this, for our company, and literally it's mostly wild trucks, but there's a lot of like mild stuff too. Just like really well built trucks that, the Expedition Overland guys,
Yeah, I remember them.
A couple years ago, they had their truck there, which is just a really nice purpose-built vehicle. But then there's also vehicles there that like they don't even run. They got trailered there and they're like mid-build. I remember one year I went there and there was this big Ford diesel with a Cummins in it. It had no drive shafts in it. It was like half built or whatever, but it was out in the front, just kind of showing off that it had a Cummins in it. So
that's awesome. You can put the motor in.
There's just a little bit of everything there, and it's. But the thing is like everything that is there is modified to the hill.
Right.
I mean, there's no stock. I mean, there's stock vehicles from dealerships, but they're not like stock. It's like the dealerships put every little tweak and twist that they possibly can onto the vehicle. Like the custom Boss Mustangs, or it's all the vehicles that the dealership takes the stock vehicle and they put. They put their performance twist on it or whatever. So
I'm sure Rosh.
That's probably the cool stuff.
Rosh and all those guys have their Mustangs out there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I figured we would see a couple Titans there. I mean, I really think next year is the year that you'll probably see if the truck has a good early spring summer in sales wise, you're going to see a bunch of vehicles of the Titans out there. I got a feeling. I know they're talking about there's supposed to be a new GTR Nismo blah 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 edition that's supposed to be some 1,000 horsepower thing that.
Yeah, they have the new Nismo Time Attack.
Yeah.
Is it the GTR Time Attack or Nismo? I don't remember what the
I'm sure it's
combination of words is for that. But yeah, it's supposed to be their super duper Nismo. It's the GTR that has the best Nürburgring lap time.
Right.
Apparently. Right. They basically took it out there and they rode it through the Nürburgring. They tuned it. They messed with the suspension about 4 million times. They probably put 400 different sets of springs on it or whatever. Basically, they just went out and they said, okay, we have to make the best Nürburgring track time for a production vehicle ever. And so they did. They did it. Hats off.
And I guess that GTR, it owns the time, the lap time right now, right?
For a production vehicle, yeah.
Okay,
nice. That's the word on the street. So,
what street is this word on, man?
It's the Nismo streets, man. The hard Cali Nismo streets, son.
Oh yeah, sucker. Oh,
You'll see when you get out here, Dave. The hard Cali Nismo streets is crazy out here. We're gonna be driving Z31. So
do they compete with? Is there a Toyota TRD road or something? That's the streets that fight with each other.
That's a boring road. Nobody wants to go on that one.
Well, man, speaking of Titan, though, real-world numbers were published this week. I think it was by Motor Trend.
Yeah.
And I'm a little skeptical of these numbers, but I'm going to go ahead and announce them. So Motor Trend is saying they've gotten 15.8 city, 20.8 highway for a combination of 17.7, of totals. And that seems a little weak to me, man. I don't know if they're in a pre-production vehicle or what's going on, because I know that the truck is just now in production. So, or November, I think it goes in production. So there's no way these numbers can be dead on. And even Nissan has not released any kind of numbers of this. And I've seen people on chat boards, usually your big three guys, your GM, your Chevy, your Ford, Dodge guys that are bragging about how badass their trucks are that we see on the side of the road all the time. But, they're bragging about how the F-350 gets 15, I think, combined, or 17, I forget. I was so angry at reading those posts, you don't even want to, go through it. But I was really expecting a little bit more out of this. And I got to thinking about this, and I was chatting with somebody at Cummins the other day. And I really think Nissan has done themselves a disservice with this vehicle. And why I say that is they've tried to come into this weird half market, this in between a 1,500 to 2,500 style vehicle. It's confusing to people. And I've seen it on the message boards of your daily truck guys. It's confusing. They're like trying to put it in a F-250 category, or they're trying to put it in, next to that Dodge Eco-Ram. And ultimately, it's not in those categories, and I really wish, after learning a little bit about this truck, it has a 3500 rear end in it and a 3500 transmission in it. And from what I was told, the only thing that doesn't make this vehicle really a true, like a true 250, 350 is just the cooling of the vehicle. So it's kind of strange to me what Nissan's got going on, and I don't know if it's because in the middle of the design of this thing, they got a new head of trucks, and he wanted to put his stamp on it from Ram. I don't know what's going on with it, Dan, and I know I'm going on a little rant here, but honestly, I was expecting 22 to 24 out of this vehicle. What's the word on those mean streets in Cali, buddy?
Mean streets of Cali. Let me tell you a little something about the mean streets of Cali. So, I'm still totally reserving judgment. I mean, Motor Trend to me has lost a little bit of their reputation over the years. Personally,
well, a lot of those magazines have, because they're wanting to be.
Yeah. They're
like these celebrity magazines. You got to pump news right now.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them are bought out by large corporations. But that's my little conspiracy theory plug. But for real though, I'm still I want to see what the average user is getting. I want to see when they're in the hands. I mean, we could speculate, postulate, reticulate, and menaginate as much as we want until they get out in the hands of people.
Right.
I mean, they're going to be bought by people that are just kind of sick and tired of the standard 3-size pickups that, you get the EcoBoost, you get a big V8, or you get a big diesel.
Right.
I think there's definitely a market there. How big that market is really going to come down to sales. I mean, I think Nissan's gambling quite a bit, and I'm very curious how that gamble is going to play out. I really don't know one way or the other. I mean, I have feelings towards both. I mean, I definitely see what you're saying with they may have shot themselves in the foot here, but you know what? At the same time, I love it when an automaker steps out and says, "Listen, everybody else is doing the same 3-size trucks with the same motors. Maybe there's a little eco diesel from Dodge now, and Ford's doing a twin turbo, eco 6-cylinder or whatever." But it's nice. It's nice to see them kind of like rethink it and say, how are we going to set ourselves apart?
Right.
So, I applaud them for setting themselves apart. Whether it pays off it's truly going to come down to the consumer, and that's, what free market reigns.
But do you feel like they could have set themselves apart differently by bringing out a gas? I mean, I really feel like they should have brought out the gas version first. Then to set yourself apart, they should have done like Chevy's doing with the little 2.8 diesel. They could have done that in their little truck, got their foot wet kind of in the diesel market, and then if you want to play with the big boys, you're ultimately what they try to do is they're trying to grow their audience. You get the little trucks, you get people hooked in that, and now you want to sell them into the big trucks. Is the way I see it.
I see it that they are trying to take a small bite out of the American truck market, which is the 1500 class market. Chevy and Ford have dominated that market for forever, and they're looking to take a bigger bite. I mean, the current Titan did its work, but I think they're trying to kind of revamp what they did. And
right.
Like I said, we could postulate and misogynate and flatulate over this for hours, but I don't know. It may pay off huge. I was a little saddened by the fuel mileage numbers, but at the same time, I mean, that's still a 500 foot-pound of torque Cummins diesel in there.
Right. Well, but look, if you kind of look at this truck's, like it or not, it's going to be compared to that 1500 eco diesel that Ram is doing right now, and the numbers are so similar, Dan. It's really strange. I mean, I know this. And I've seen this on the forums where the guys are like, "Oh yeah, this motor can't be good since Nissan's using it because Dodge, it was supposed to go into the Dodge Nissan partnership in the 2009 era." And what these people don't realize is, Dodge was going bankrupt. That's why that motor didn't get put in that vehicle.
Yeah, there's a reason why Fiat owns Dodge.
Right.
Now they're putting out Jeep Fiats, Jeep
Yeah.
Renegades,
Yeah.
also known as a Fiat. off-roader.
Yeah, we'll get into that one, definitely. But, like Fiat, they build that diesel that's going into that truck. So they, it made sense for them to, hey, here's what we've got. Let's go ahead and throw it in a truck. But the numbers, I forget what it is. It's like 260, 270 horsepower wise and nearly 400, torque numbers for that V6. And that V6 is, I don't know if it's real world, but I heard 29 in a two-wheel drive maybe, which and Motor Trend didn't specify in the article I read whether this was the four-wheel drive or the two-wheel drive, so maybe that'll affect it too.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm not, the towing, everybody keeps talking about the towing at 12,000 pounds, and Ford and Chevy their normal V8s are nearly at that now. I don't care till I see the actual numbers from Nissan. I am not going to fret about that. And really, ultimately,
and I think when they post up numbers like, okay, I can tow at 12,000. I think the difference between towing an EcoBoost at 12,000 pounds on an F-150 and the new Titan towing the same vehicle, which they both can, but there's a big difference when you're talking about towing something over hills
and definitely we have experience.
Valleys.
We've got experience with this EcoBoost. What our buddy Chema. He drove one. And I know it was the early version.
Just because it can doesn't mean it's going to be great at it. There's a big user curve when it comes to towing something with a 500 foot-pound of torque and a 350 and a full big rear end with a transmission that can handle it. You're not just barely lugging up hills. You're just motoring up stuff without even thinking about it. Whereas something else, you're like, it did all right. I got here, but I probably took 10 years off the end of the truck's life.
No kidding. And I think our buddy Luke and Chema both had one. They towed their rigs to Went this year, and they were getting maybe 9 miles a gallon. So yeah, you can tow it, but I've got a feeling a truck like this is gonna do a lot better in numbers.
Yeah. Time will tell. Time will tell when we see these hitting the market. I'll be excited to see, if this is going to make other people up their game, if this is going to be a stir the pot kind of a thing, or if it's a total flop. We'll see.
We'll see, man. And speaking of seeing, let's talk about some numbers, Dan. The numbers for
numbers.
Let's do some math, man.
Yeah.
I kind of like to. I think our audience kind of, they're Nissan people, and they seem to. I've had some people tell me they like when we announce these numbers, but let's look. Frontier, man, the truck that I like and own, and Danny owns over there. Their numbers have dropped off a little bit. They were at peak. I think they were about 7,000 a month or something. They were selling something ridiculous. Mm-hmm. They're down to 4,600 of those things a month, which it's time for everybody knows that Navara is the next vehicle, and it's people are. They're ready for that next one, I believe. So
yeah, we'll see some announcements middle of next year, I think.
But they've still sold 55,000 of those things this year, man. Trips me out. That trips me out for an 11-year-old vehicle that's still selling high numbers.
It's still a truck that can do the work. I love my truck. It's freaking awesome. I mean, it needs an update, but at the same time, it's held its place very strongly.
Well, the smart thing they did do with that vehicle versus like the Titan and stuff is they did refresh the insides of it a little bit, and they monkeyed with the paint and the graphics a little bit. So I think that's really helped them, and it's kept them nearly at number 2 in the small truck. They've been battling with GM the past couple months, but for an 11-year-old vehicle to be battling a brand new vehicle, that trips me out, man. But the good old Titan that we were just talking about, they're still selling some of those, Dan. They are at about
old body style, huh?
10,708 is where they're at for right now, and they've almost sold 10,000 of those things this year.
I bet you they're blowing them out, and I think that I have a feeling that's why they're selling them, is because they're probably blowing them out.
Well, the last time I was at the dealership was about a month ago. I talked to my friend up there, a salesman. He said they're not offering any rebates on those right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's just this. You're buying what you're getting. I know a year or so ago they were offering up to 8,000 in rebates, but maybe and they were still producing them. I think till this month they were still producing those things. So
go figure. Well, that shows you how much I know.
Let's talk about the heavy hitters, Dan. Altima has sold 24,224 of those things. And
everybody wants to ride a nice little freaking scootabout.
That's September, Dan. That trips me out.
Crazy, Dan.
So for the year, they're at 262,424 of those things sold, which is up about 10,000 from last year. And what are they getting this year? This month, they're getting a refresh of that car, man. So
yeah, it's
been competing, with the Rogue.
Ultima's, I think they're just going to keep blasting out their numbers and help funding all the other small projects like Xterras and
Wait. They're building Xterras again?
Huh?
What are they saying on the mean streets out there, Dan? Xterra's coming back?
No. No. It's not.
They killed him, SA.
We'll talk about what's coming back later after the numbers.
But the Rogue this trips me out, man. Honda right now, the CR-V is the king of that small CUV category, but the Rogue's actually pushing into the numbers, and they are at 25,064 of these things, which it's starting to outsell Altima, which is probably why that Nissan was a little scared and needed to give that Altima a little bit of a refresh, because the Altima's been their king selling car since I think 2004 or so. It's been their top selling car. And year to date, it's not there where Altima is, but it's still at 213,207. So it's catching Altima, and by the middle or by the end of the year, I bet they're tied.
Yeah, they're screaming, man. They're screaming out of the doors.
A buddy of mine came over the other day. His family just bought a new Pathfinder, and 3 weeks in, his Pathfinder's starting to make noise and stuff, and it's something in that CVT. That's, we can go on and on about the CVT, but so they had to take this vehicle back. Now, you would think you take like a 3-week-old vehicle, they would go, "Oh, we're on top of it, we'll fix it, no problem." No, they had to park the car. And they gave them a Rogue as their kind of to get them through till they got parts in. Now, I'm 10 minutes from the plant, and I'm 20 minutes maybe from where I know all the parts for the Nation go, like service parts are. There was no transmissions in America to replace this, a 3-week-old vehicle.
Wow.
So he got stuck in the Rogue, man. He said it was fun to drive. He said it just felt slightly underpowered. But he said, man, I would own that car in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's, the Rogues, they're selling like crazy, man.
Well, with a name like Rogue, you got to.
I get, yeah.
Let's transition this, Dan. Let's
talk about this big thing that we were talking about.
Yeah, let's get into Dan versus Dave kind of thing. So, we've talked about it on the show before, what's going on with the Z. 370's been out there a while. That platform's been out there since, 2003, I think.
2003.
We know a change is coming, but Dan, a scary change might be coming. Nissan a couple weeks ago released the concept GripsZ. It looks like a 240 on steroids, or a 280 maybe on steroids. Imagine.
No, you know what it looks like? It looks like a cross between the Concept X crossover thing and a new Maxima and a Z. That's what it looks like.
That's a lot to look like.
It's like a menagerie is what it is.
Well, they've built a concept car of this, and they've been showing it around, and it looks great. I'm not going to lie. Definitely the top roof line and the body line definitely has that throwback to the 280Z. Even the kind of side windows, except it's got a couple things. It does suicide doors in the back, kind of like what the Honda Element did, where they flip out, and then it's got kind of wing doors in the front, which I love that idea, because I love that you ain't got to crawl through some tiny hole if you want to get in the back seat of this thing, which that's right. I said back seat. So rumors are going around, and it's all over the internet, that the next Z is actually going to be a CUV. And it makes sense, because they've got their heritage car now in the GTR, so me and you can't afford that car, but it is their, if they sell 10 of those a month or whatever, they're probably happy. Where the current Z is selling maybe, I forget, it's maybe, I want to say 300 or so a month that they're actually selling with that vehicle. So you definitely, it doesn't sell like you think it would for a mid $40,000 car.
Yeah.
And plus it's been out there forever.
Yeah.
But this Nissan GripsZ is kind of like the best of both worlds. If you took a Rogue and you had it mate with the Z, is what I kind of fashion this car as. It's probably
okay. I feel you on that.
It's probably about a size and a half of the Juke.
It's kind of like if you took a Rogue and you made it look really freaking awesome. Basically. Like, Rogue's a good car. Yeah. Well, if you like it, go buy one. Cool.
Right.
I personally wouldn't buy one. It's not awesome enough. But if they came out with a Nissan GripsZ and they're like, hey man, you want a sports car? I'm like, yeah, but I'm an SUV guy. They'd be like, well, what if you tried something in between? I'd be like, well, those would never work out. You'd get a Rogue. They're like, what if we made something even radder, bro? Like, what do you mean? Then they say, check out the GripsZ. I'm like, oh, that thing's pretty sweet.
Well,
that's what would happen.
It's got in the rear of the thing. It's kind of got the fins like the Juke R has on the roofline, and it's definitely very sports car like. Now the interesting,
it's cool, and obviously it's a concept car, and every concept car looks freaking awesome. But what I'm scared of is they're going to take this awesome looking concept car, and they're going to squeeze out another weak, like wannabe version of this concept car, and you're going to be like,
I don't know, man.
Well, there goes the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, Nissan's been the past 5 to 10 years, they've been pretty, good about if they're going to release a concept car, when it comes out production, it's very close. You look at the Maxima. The Maxima wasn't that far off of what they were calling the sports coupe concept. But this thing, and we'll post up pictures on our website and on Facebook and stuff.
You know where I totally disagree, Dave, is that I don't think there's a chance in God's green earth that this is going to replace the Z.
Why is that, Dan?
I think the Z has way too much heritage for them to turn it into something it's not. And if by chance Nissan USA changes the Z, the heritage from, when did the Z come out? In the
early 70s. 71, I think.
Like 70, 71 or something like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've got like 5 models now. They had the Z, the 240, 260, 280. They had the Z31.
300.
They had the Z32, the 350.
But they're known to put
the 370.
They're known to put 4 seats in these cars
now, man.
Yeah, but look, you had what was the XZ or whatever they called it. They had 4 seats in that thing, and they've
they had 2+2. They had 2+2s, which that's like they kind of stuck some seats in the back.
Which is kind of what this car is gonna. What it looks like to me, it really is a 2+2 car.
No way, dude. Not a chance on God's green earth. If they do, I'm gonna spit in the creator's face and say, "Bring back the Z like you should have."
Right, and this is
redesign the Z kind of like what it was supposed to be back in the 240 days.
And this is where we kind of were debating before we did the show, and we were like, we got to stop. We got to bring our debate to the people. But
I think they're looking at this and they're trying to capitalize off of the Rogue and Murano sales, because obviously those things are killing it. So they're like, well, those two are killing it. Let's make a little freaking cooler version of it, and call it the Z. It's like a Rogue Z, if you will, right. The GripsZ.
Think about this, Dan.
Replace the Z, not a chance.
Well, they've stopped production of the Z before. It's nothing unusual for Nissan to do and bring the brand back. But think about this, man. You got GTR, which is their heritage car. They've screwed with that. They've showed, this new regime with the French regime, they've showed no interest in keeping their heritage cars around, or like they were. At one time the Skyline GTR was, no, I won't say affordable, but it wasn't like out of price like it is now. So what they do, they just decided to redesign it and call it a GTR. So it doesn't freak me out that Nissan would do this. What
if they were to bring this out as the new Z car? I can't even say it without laughing. If they were to bring this out as a new Z car, I absolutely think that they would have to replace the Z line with some kind of small sports car.
Right.
Whether it be like a 2-door Maxima or something like that. Which
what scares you? What scares you about
their little Ultima concept thing? But
what scares you about?
I don't feel like they would just like throw that product line away.
Well, what scares you about a sports CUV? But we won't even call it a Z. What would scare you about that?
There's no way you could take that and make it handle like a 300Z. It's never going to be a sports car, dude. Never.
But oh man,
it's a high clearance. If you look at it, it's a high clearance vehicle, man. I mean, all your weight. I mean, you could stick all the weight down at the very, very, very bottom. I mean, I don't even know. Is this thing electric, or is it? Are they talking about it as like some kind of hybrid thing? Or?
Well, you know, they've been talking about. I've read articles about the Z going hybrid. So I mean, I would assume yes, this thing would be a hybrid. Because what hybrid's going to give you is that instant takeoff. You know, you go use that electric motor, and it should give you great numbers. And who knows? Maybe it could be all electric. Who knows, man? I mean, Nissan they're not scared of the electric market by any means.
We'll see, man.
I can see
it's a hybrid. I'm reading about it right now. It's a hybrid. I don't even know what to say.
I can see
I will wait until serious press releases besides this, because
I can see it, man.
On one hand, it makes me mad. On the other hand, like, I love the car. Don't get me wrong. It's not about the car. It's about losing out on
about where you're
real
placing
Z
it.
heritage. Right. That's like going. I mean, the Z is the muscle car for Nissan. It's the Mustang of Nissan, man. And to take the Mustang if you were to go out and take a Mustang and say, okay, next year the Mustang, the Ford Mustang will be a crossover Mustang, people would take a dump in their pants, man.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of American heritage with that car, you know. And I know
there's Japanese and American heritage in the Z.
Right. No, I totally get it. But what doesn't scare me is that they're trying to take the next market, you know, like we were just talking about with the truck being kind of a in-between vehicle. Why not develop a whole new market of sports CUV? I mean, they sort of do it with Infiniti now. You know, the Infinity's got the 3.7 rear-wheel drive platform. It's basically the same platform. You know, you're nearly 400 horsepower in that thing. So it doesn't scare me. And it not being low doesn't scare me either, because I still think you can get you
I have, and I always do this to you, Dave. Back when I was a BMW mechanic, shots. You know, I gotta start it. The X6 came out as a hybrid. It was an X6 hybrid, and it had 400 horsepower. The thing was super rad to drive. It had a freaking really sweet power plant. It was a hybrid that got like, I don't know, like 20 miles a gallon, I guess, maybe. But, you know, it's like 400 horsepower.
Right.
And it was sweet. It was sweet. It was rad to drive. But, like, you would never buy that car. It had zero visibility at the back of it. It was just not a car that had any user-friendly features whatsoever.
Yeah, but
you're like, this is rad. But, you know, if I'm going to buy something like this, I'd rather just buy a sports car. Or if I'm going to buy an SUV with a ton of power, I'm going to buy something that's
Dan,
usable.
Who thought a GTR and a Juke would ever sell? I mean, yeah.
I'll give you the Juke. The GTR obviously sells because
I'm saying that the GTR, the Juke R, or whatever they call it.
The Juke R.
And I know you're very limited audience to that thing, but
yeah, but
they got laughed at when
it's just like a weird car.
No, but they got laughed at for when that first popped out, man. People were like, "Oh, that thing, that's a joke." You know, here's Nissan making another joke. And they proved that they sell like 25 of them a year or something like that.
The difference, Dave, is the Juke, they just made a car. Why don't they make this car and say, hey, this is called the Grip. Mm-hmm. Not the GripsZ. It doesn't need to be a Z. They don't need to steal the Z. They don't need to play with the Z name. Don't mess with the Z. You know what I'm saying? Make a cool crossover CUV, call it the GripsZ,
right,
and be done with it. Don't steal heritage when it doesn't need to be stolen.
Right.
That was like when Ford came out with that new Thunderbird that was like the worst future version of the old car, the new sedan. It was like a Taurus with like a body kit on it.
Right. No,
don't mess with it. You know what I'm saying? That's my pet peeve. Maybe it's a pet peeve, Dave. If you have a heritage vehicle like the Z, don't slap the Z name on something that it's not.
Well, I mean, come on. They rebadge the Pathfinder into something it's not. So that's, they like screwing up.
Yeah, you're right.
They like screwing up the brand.
Nissan has an affinity for messing with. Yeah.
Yeah, Pathfinder.
I'd like to take this argument to the Facebook community. If you have an opinion,
yes.
I want you guys to go out, GripsZ, GRIPZ. Just Google it. You'll see 1,000 pictures. You can go to Google Images and click on a couple. It just debuted at a couple auto shows. Go on, check it out, and come back and post up on Nissan Nation Podcast Facebook page or our Instagram or whatever you think,
right.
And give us your opinion. Should this be a new Z car to replace the 350, 370, or the G37, whatever you think it might replace, or do you think this is just a cool CUV that Nissan might produce? Give us your thoughts. Let put a nail in the coffin of this argument by way of posting up on our Facebooks.
Man, we are heated tonight, Dan.
I know. Sorry, Dave. Get me going.
I know.
Get my sauce all churned up.
Hey, and one last thing with this car. What if this was the next Juke and they're just throwing everybody off with it?
Now that would be rad. That's this should be the next Juke because that's the thought, Dave. That's the thought that Nissan people should have had when they came out with this. They're like the GripsJ, not the GripsZ, the GripsJ.
The circle jerk.
Because this would be a bitchin' Juke. That's a bitchin' Juke is what that is.
Right, and it definitely.
They take this and then they could do the 600 horsepower friggin' GripsZ Juke.
And you definitely, if you look, and when our listeners look in the inside of this thing, it definitely has that painted body panels like the Juke does, and on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I
can see this being a Juke replacement. Maybe 3 years down the road, because
right.
the Juke's selling pretty decent, right? It's a cool
mm-hmm.
car. It's kind of made a little foothold in the weird car market. This would be a bitchin' new car to replace the Juke.
Right. No, definitely. I mean, they're selling about 30,000 Jukes a year, so I think 2011 is when it came out, so it's time for a redo. But this, to put my little last spin on this thing, Nissan is not. I like it because they're not scared of design, man. Where the only thing from GM I've ever seen that looked interesting was the new Cadillac stuff, the concept stuff that they had in the movie Entourage and all that. That kind of look different, but nobody is designing like Nissan. Or if they are, they're not bringing concept to the people and letting them look at it, man. So props to those guys. Like you said, concepts never turn out, exactly the way we see them to production. But whatever this car is, I'm super excited about it because it looks like a rocket ship. It really does.
Yeah.
And make it rear-wheel drive.
I don't have any hatred towards the car. I just have hatred towards the marketing scheme.
And make it rear-wheel drive.
The possible death of Z's. Because that would be if they came out with that as a Z, it'd be the death of Z's. Anyways, let's move on, Dave. That's my final word. That's my final thought on that. I wanted to give a quick shout out, real quick, Dave. If you don't mind.
You gonna throw some shout outs?
It's shout out time.
It's shout out.
I want to give a shout out to the Regal Racing guys. They're I can't remember if they're prepping for Dakar or if they're prepping for something else. I went to go check and I couldn't decide. But the Regal Racing, if you guys haven't checked them out on Facebook, South African Nissan off-road race team. They do Dakar every year. They did really well last year. I believe they finished. And they're getting ready to do it again. I know they're going on a race in a couple days. I think Dakar's not for another few months, but
yeah, I think it is February.
Yeah, check him out.
Yeah, I like following this guy, man, and he's the what's his name? Do you remember the main guy from them?
It's so blanking on me. I was trying to look for him earlier, and I couldn't think of it to the life of me.
The dude is an adventurer, though, man. He's always out in the desert racing something.
Yeah, he's out cruising the South African deserts and on dirt bikes or racing some rappers around or something like that. But they're basically, it's a professional race team. They have like 3 or 4 trucks, and they're always doing something. I'll throw a link up to it on our Facebook page so you guys can check it out.
Hopefully soon we can get this
super
guy.
Cool guy too. We've messaged him back and forth. We haven't. Yeah. It's really hard because he's like 9 hours ahead to get him on. But,
and you're 4 hours or 3 hours behind me. So
yeah, between me and Dave, and then
it's
another
a day.
9 hour difference.
It's literally a day to get somebody on the show.
Yeah. Also, Dan Spellinger. I don't know if I'm saying the last name. Spellinger. He has a Nissan Frontier that he races, rally races out on the East Coast. I think he hails from New Hampshire, but he just raced the Rally Charlevoix up in Canada. So if you haven't checked him out, he races a really nice little red, white, and blue Nissan truck. In a lot of different rallies. He raced this last weekend. It looked like he did pretty well. I checked out some of his YouTube videos and stuff, and they were screaming through all the checkpoints and stuff. So
nice.
I didn't get a response from him on how he did, but we'll forward some of that.
And we hope to have him on the show.
Facebook.
We actually hope to have him on the show very soon as well.
Yeah, we were trying to this weekend, but he was out racing, so we'll try and.
I want to give a shout out to
the show.
My boy Angel Rubio. He's been my brother in arms for doing my straight axle swap, man. Me and him for the past 2 years have been going back and forth on things to do, and he's a pretty good fan of the show. And I know he just got his Cal Mini kit, man, and he's itching to cut the front of his vehicle off. So I want to give him a big shout out, and he'll probably be done before I ever finish mine. So big shout out there for him. Any other shout outs, Dan, before I've got some listener questions to get to.
Oh, that's right. We got some listener questions. I don't have any more shout outs.
I got one more shout out. Everybody that put in and helped me out and get me to California, man. Big shout outs, and I will thank every one of you to put a cork into that. I'm blown away by you guys. So
we will work very hard to put some extremely entertaining video into the YouTube for your viewing pleasure, so that money does not go wasted. I can promise you that.
Let's see. We got Mr. Car Jeep, man. I think he's number one fan A between him and Chema. His question is, how is Nissan Leaf holding up with all the other electric vehicles in mass production? And let's see. And who do you guys see leading the way in the next 5 years? Well, obviously Tesla to me is leading the way. They're about to release their SUV. I know they're supposed to release an affordable sedan coming up. When I say affordable, $35,000 or so. Their battery life on those cars to me is just unprecedented. I don't know how they're doing it, why these other guys can't catch up, but Tesla would be the guys to me leading the way. And how is the Leaf doing? Well, fuel prices are down right now, so it's that doesn't help the Leaf, but obviously the Leaf isn't going anywhere. That technology is here to stay, and I know they're actually they're in for a second gen of that car, and I was almost going to talk about it tonight, but we'll save that for next week. They've got a concept they're fixing to release.
Hopefully we'll get a little bit more information over the next couple months.
But there's a concept on that they're fixing to release at the Japanese Auto Show. They're supposed to tease the next one, so let's see what else. What else do we got here? Let's see. Angel Rubio. He said, "Talk about off-road tires." Yeah, that's a tricky subject to discuss. That may nearly be a whole show to discuss. But I'm a BFG guy, BF Goodrich. I love their tires. I've drank the Kool-Aid. I've got KOs on my wife's Xterra. I've got KO2s on my Frontier, and I've got KM2s on my Xterra, my toy Xterra. So I've drank the Kool-Aid with those guys and just love their tires. Dan, what about you?
I'm running BFG mud KO2s on my Frontier.
Yeah.
I haven't used them. I'm running skinnies. I'm running a 255/85/16, which is a very unusual size. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's a 33, but it's like half the width.
Right. I think that's what John.
Go ahead.
Oh, John, what's his last name? Frontier. Radsom. Yeah, I think that's what he's running on his Frontier. Yeah, it's not a bad looking size though.
it's not a popular size, but I would ask that if you guys are haters on the thought of using a skinny tire for more traction, that you do some reading up on it. I read quite a few different articles on how skinny tires could possibly provide better overall traction.
Well, I'm on my Gen 1.
Say that again?
On my Gen 1, I'm actually running a 33 10.5 15 on it. So yeah, I went skinnier on that one.
Yeah, there's definitely some good things that can come of running a skinnier, taller tire. But yeah, so you're really, and this is what I tell to a lot of people. I think cheap tires are cheap when it comes to like Schmenkes and Pazuzis and stuff like that. I was in the tire business for quite a few years, and some of the brands that are made for tire companies where they try and talk you into those, because usually they get them for dirt cheap and they sell them for a huge profit. Usually those tires are not made with the same quality rubber. You'll see a little bit quicker dry rot out of them. A lot of the technology is just not in them as much as you would see in like the new BFG-ATs. They took the technology from KO, or not from KO, from the Baja TAs, the race Baja TAs, and they put all of their kind of testing and knowledge that they got from running Baja TAs in racing, and they took some of that technology and they put them into an off-road tire that so many guys were using those to race in, which is crazy for just a standard AT tire.
Right.
So I feel like there's definitely a big curve between cheap Schmenkes and a good name brand tire.
I do too.
Rubber quality and so on. So
I believe you get what you pay for. And then sometimes there's just times when I'm not putting my family in something that you just don't know about, and ultimately the tire is what touches the road. So safety to me is key. So I don't mind spending 20.
I'm not hating on somebody that can't afford BFGs and they get the Schmenkes. If that's all you can afford and you want an off-road tire, it may do you better than not being able to, and then running some street tires in the dirt,
Right.
So if you can't afford the really solid tires, on your rig, and you still want to go out and get dirty, the Schmenke off-roaders will do you. But I think in the long run, if you're going to be doing this a long time, the things that you have to consider is, what do you think the 90% of your off-roading is going to be? Or not even that, if you're going to be driving the truck on street 90% of the time and 10% of the time you're going to be off-roading, don't run a mud tire, or you have to, and then on top of that is, if you're going to be off-roading, is it going to be gravel roads? Is it going to be dirt roads? Or, are you out east where it's all dirt and mud, or are you out west where it's like hard packed desert sand or whatever, So think about where you off-road and make a planned decision, and then go out and find the best tire. And
make a sound decision of, research. There's forums, there's all kinds of truck forums, and everybody's running every tire. Do your research on these tires. Don't just buy a tire because your buddy bought that tire.
Or just because the tire man said that's the best tire.
Right.
Because usually the tire man is just trying to get you to buy whatever he has in stock.
Speaking of tire man, Dan, it all comes around. If you guys are going to buy some tires, man, Amazon actually sells tires, and they have ways of discounts through different companies like Direct or something. I forget who all the companies that go through Amazon. But if you get
great shipping on those tires,
you do, and that's the amazing thing is you can ship tires to your front door, and Amazon will do that for you. And especially if you're a Prime member, you're getting free shipping. So if you guys, we got Christmas coming up, and I know a lot of people buy things online. This is our biggest time of year for any kind of support from you guys. And all we ask is that if you're going to buy anything from Amazon, go to our website, NissanNationPodcast.com, and click one of our Amazon banner links on the site. And what that will do is it allows Amazon to track where you bought that stuff from, and that's it. It doesn't cost you any more. It doesn't, there's no other, the plus of helping us keep the show going. That's it. So if you guys do not mind, please go to our website. Once again, that's www.nissannationpodcast.com. Click the banner link, and if you got stuff in your cart, I believe that counts. So if you'll just use that link, buy it. And if you buy something cool and you want to talk about it, like tires, if you bought some tires or something, post up on our Facebook page. Let us know, and we'll definitely give you a shout out for that. And I'm going to keep that one short tonight, Dan.
Sounds good, Dave. That was fantastic. Yeah, because we have to pay for the stickers and shirts and swag and all that cool stuff that goes into making us into a big deal, so that we can bring you episode 1 of. What are we going to call episode 1, Dave? I don't know if I want to call it the Nissan Nation podcast. I want something a little bit more extravagant and fun.
The Nissan Nation. I don't know, man. Nissan
Nation.
I think I own that domain.
We'll brainstorm and we'll come up with what our actual YouTube videos will be called.
That's right,
Our
man.
YouTube series.
That's right, man. Part of my DRB and KGB media empire.
Yeah.
Well, man, once again, we always try to talk about what we're going to talk about next week, but we've got a few people like the couple off-road guys we've been trying to nail down, but just timing kills us. We've got Christmas. I think next show, Dan, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a Christmas episode, man. Because
next show, Dave, is we're going to be doing the Nissan Nation podcast, no? Well, I guess that's...
No, we've got time yet.
I mean...
I want to get...
Yeah, it's about 4 weeks away.
I want to get our Christmas show out of the way in case people want to buy things based on our recommendations and stuff. And stuff that you can get at Exterior Performance, you can buy at Nissfest, or if you got a car...
Nissfest.
Nissfest, gosh, Nissfest. It's all the same.
I got it, man.
Chris will bust my balls on that one. But yeah, we'll do some reviews, man, and maybe we'll pull out a couple things from the car world and the truck world. And
I love pulling out things from the car world.
Yeah, and we've got our guest host that should be on, Miss Kara.
Yeah, we got to get Kara Bear.
That's right, man. She can tell us all the cool things from Colorado, because that's where she's based out of, and we'll just have a fun time with the next. I'll get some Christmas music going, Dan.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. A little rumpa-pum-pum, if you will.
That's right, man.
Possibly a little jingle balls. Snoop Dogg.
What is this, Dan?
Don't start, Dave.
So
I need them fireworks.
That's right,
man. All I need you to do, Dave, for this Nissfest is I need you to set up the fireworks.
That's right, man. I'll bring them. So I am David Boyd with the Nissan Nation podcast, and my main big deal over there in Cali is Mr. Daniel Gruters. And Dan, this is the Nissan Nation, and what are we?
Out.